So to start off our webinar schedule today, I'd like to introduce John Herlihy from Kerry College of Further Education and Training. Good afternoon, John, and welcome to the second day of Career Path Expo.
Hi, how are you, Kevin? It's good to be here, and thank you for having us. It's great to get the opportunity to chat to people.
Not at all. How's the weather in the kingdom?
It started off this morning and it was snowing, and now it's sunny. No, I'm joking. And it was raining. It was raining this morning, and now it is absolutely beautiful.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, we've just had sleet in Dublin at the window and hailstones. So it seems like a bit of a difference to Kerry. So John, you're going to talk to us today about unique courses at Kerry College. So can you tell us a little bit in advance about what the talk is going to be about?
Yes, no problem. We'll I suppose I'll talk a little bit up front about Kerry College of Further Education. It's the first integrated college of further education in the country. We're taking the FE with the further education and the training piece and putting it together under one brand. And as a result, we have, I suppose, Kevin, 10 very unique programs. They're not available anywhere else in the country. So these are unique courses exclusive to Kerry College. As part of the green wave, the renewable energy wave, and as part of the drive to go outdoors, a lot of those courses make use of the natural environment of Kerry, the beautiful county that Kerry is, and the great outdoors there. So I'm looking forward to telling people about that in the presentation today.
Okay, and if I could ask just very quickly on the subject of what you mentioned there, of the green wave, there obviously is plenty of interest in this whole area. Do you think the availability of these extra courses and the extra interest is going to mean there'll be new career opportunities for people in the future who want to forge a career in the whole green area?
No, absolutely. There is. I think it's only beginning, really, Kevin. I think people are only beginning to become aware of the importance of it. Sustainability now is a key senior management position for so many big companies. They're hiring sustainability managers and sustainability directors. So I think it's only starting. I do think so. Yeah, it's a growth area, huge growth area.
Okay, well, thank you very much. So John, who's coming live from the Kingdom of Kerry, if you'd like to kick it off and take us into unique courses at Kerry College of Further Education.
Very good. You can see that okay, can you?
We can.
Very good. Thank you, Kevin. And hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is John Herlihy. I work in the Admissions Office at Kerry College of Further Education and Training. And for the next 25 or so minutes, I'll be taking you through what we do, what we're about. And also, I'll be taking you through 10 courses that we offer that are available exclusively at Kerry College and available nowhere else in the country. So we're very excited about that. Some of them are new courses, and 2 of them are courses we're announcing for the first time today. So a bit of an exclusive for Career Path Expo as well. So I suppose the first thing I would say is that a little bit about us as a college. We're an integrated college of further education and training, as I was telling Kevin there. That means we have integrated the further education and PLC provision with the training provision that's often run in training centres up and down the country, and also the apprenticeship piece. So there's 3 parts to this, and we were the first to move in this direction about 18 months ago, and we did our first full year of intake last year. So we'll tell you a little bit about that. We have a new approach to classifying courses, and the idea behind that is to make it clearer and simpler and easier for school leavers or returners or people who want to upskill to choose a path, because sometimes there's like a dizzying array of choice out there. And you know, sometimes if there's more choice, you have more difficulty making up your mind, as we all know. So what we tend to do is we classify our courses based on the outcome that you want, because sometimes you may not know the exact course you want to do, but you're very clear on what you should be doing afterwards. And I'll take you through those now. There's 3 potential outcomes. The first one is getting a job. So we look at people that are either school leavers who decide that they don't want to go on to 3rd level, they don't want to do any more study, they've had 5 years, they want to take a break. There are people that have worked for a couple of years, maybe want to come back and try something else, change careers, pivot into a new industry. These are the getting a job people. We have a range of employment courses for them, which are skills-based and are training-based. So that's the first sort of, outcome that people come to us with. The second one is bridging to 3rd levels. So these are your school leavers. A lot of you will be here today at Career Path Expo looking for clues and encouragement on where to go next and what the best choice would be. These are progression courses, and these are further education courses or PLC courses. And we offer a range of those at Kerry College as well. And the third piece piece is the apprenticeship piece, which is becoming an apprentice. So we have an increasing amount of people coming to us saying, look, we really want to go the apprenticeship route. We don't know how to go about it. Can you tell us a little bit about it? And we find there's a lot of misconception out there about apprenticeship. In fact, that some people think it's a course, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a while. There's two types of apprenticeships, of course. There's the traditional craft apprenticeships, which would have been developed up to 2016. And then there's the new apprenticeships, which have been offered from 2016 onwards. And there's a lot of those in very exciting areas. And some of them are actually exhibiting at Career Path Expo this week. So they're the three areas in a nutshell, and they're the three outcomes we tend to focus on when we're dealing with people who come to us at Kerry College. So a little bit about our first full year. What was it like? Well, we had coronavirus, so it probably wasn't a typical year. We opened an admissions office, for example, in Denny Street in Tralee at 7 Denny Street, hired a wonderful admissions team. And then we had to close our doors after 10 days. So that wasn't great, but we just moved everything online, and it's been absolutely brilliant. The team are amazing. We've done great work, and just some of the figures will prove that. I mean, we've had a 30% increase in FET course applications last year, despite coronavirus and all of the fears around studying on campus. We started everything on campus in September, and then moved online. So we didn't start online, and we found that was amazing because people could meet, socially distanced and safe and all that, but they could meet, and it really aided their learning journey when we moved online instead of starting fully online. 60% of our progression course graduates attended third level last year, which was a great stat for us. We've almost 4,000 learners and apprentices last year at Kerry College, and we work with almost 227 employers with over 500 apprentices in County Kerry as well, offering 180 full and part-time courses. About 100 of those are actually full-time courses across progression and employment. So some good numbers last year from our first year. We've 5 campus locations in County Kerry. That's Castle Gregory, which is a lovely sandy enclave there just outside Tralee on the Dingle Peninsula. We'll be running one of our new courses very close to there in Feenit, and I'll tell you about that in a while. Some of our campuses, just to show them to you, we have 3 of them in Tralee. We have Clash Road, which is really a campus that focuses on courses for progression typically. There's 40 courses on offer there in a variety of fields of learning. We have a lovely new campus in Denny Street in Tralee Town Centre, which is right beside our admissions office. Lovely Edwardian building there, a listed building. We do a lot of our healthcare and social studies courses there. We also have a campus in Listowel, which is a key hub for North Kerry. And also our big campus, I guess, really in Tralee is the Mona Valley campus. We do all of our apprenticeship training there. You can see the wind turbine unit there. That's actually real. It's not a toy. It's a real life wind turbine unit. It's actually cut in 2. So the top part with the blades is on the ground, with the blades truncated. And there's also, you can see in the background there's the first part of the tower, which we use for height training. So you can come there. You can see it from kind of miles around if you're in the kind of that part of Tralee. So all of our apprenticeship training is delivered at Mona Valley, and 110 full and part-time courses. And of course, our new campus then, you can see the overhead shot of it there, is in Cappanalee. It's our National Outdoor Education and Training Campus. It's an area of just stunning natural beauty. It's at just near Carra Lake in a place called Ula West. And you don't get a mobile phone signal down there. I can tell you it's that remote, but stunning, a playground for people that want to go out and learn about the outdoors and train as outdoor activity instructors. So why would you choose Kerry College? There's many reasons. We'll list just a few of them. You've got the course choice, of course, 100 full and part-time, or 100 full-time courses, 180 full and part-time, 8 apprenticeships. We have 10 unique courses, which we'll tell you about in a couple of minutes. You have smaller class sizes. So you have class sizes ranging from 14 to 24 max. So it's more personable. It's friendlier. You're going to know everybody. You're going to know your instructor or your teacher or your tutor. It's not so big that it's anonymous. And if you're making the transition from school where you've known everybody for 5 years, and you've known teachers and you've known the building and that, when you go to a place like Kerry College, it still feels it's big. I mean, you have 4,000 students across all the campuses. It's big, but it feels small and it feels personable and friendly. So it's a fantastic middle step between somebody who's thinking about going to college but aren't sure that they're ready yet. There's integrated work placement on most programs. Full-time courses for employment are free, like 100% free, no application fee, no tuition fees, no certification fees, and no examination fees, no catch. So it almost sounds like too much of a good thing, but it's entirely true. Courses for progression have a small fee of €130, which is payable when you accept the place on the course. There's a €200 government levy that's paid into the second term, but 80% of people don't pay that. It's a heavily exempted levy. There's a range of funding options. There's very good accommodation stock in County Kerry. There's a thriving tech sector there. And like I keep saying, I sound biased, it's an absolutely beautiful county with an incredible natural location. So back to these, and just very briefly about the three things we do. Courses for employment. It's all about qualifying with a job-ready skill set. It's a direct route to employment. 30% of the learning on these courses takes place on the job, so you feel very close to the actual job that you're training for. We have a lot of partners in industry that help out with work experience, and a lot of host companies that take people in and help with their training, which is most important. And we've 65 full-time courses for employment, a very large offering. So if you go online to our website there at kerrycollege.ie, click on the full-time courses button, and you'll see the courses for employment listed in their own category. You can go in there and have a look at them. Courses for progression. So what we would say to people that come to us, we have a lot of people that talk to us every week about this. Choosing a career at 17 or 18 is a pretty big ask. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was 17. I had a vague idea that I wanted to go to college, but I didn't really know what I wanted to study. And I made some bad choices myself. I made some questionable choices about what I would study, and it took me in one direction for a couple of years, and then I kind of came back into do something else. But I wished I had something like this when I was 17 or 18, that I could have gone off and explored a career for myself before I made a bigger choice to go to a college for 3 or 4 years, you know. So we think it's a big ask for people at 17 or 18. Some people are ready, some people are not. But we do think that, like every year, 6,000 first-year students drop out, usually at Christmas. That's 6,000 people going home saying, look, I gotta leave college. It's not working out for me. And that's a really tough thing for them, because sometimes we'd be scared that they'd start to drift and not go back into education for a while. Reasons, and this is all from research, wrong course choice. Financial reasons are a really big one, because, you know, going to college can be deceptively expensive if you haven't done the homework on it. Being away from home is also a surprising one that catches people. And then just overall realizing that, look, I can't see myself doing this if I continue with the course, which is, you know, a tough one for people. You know, you go in thinking, I really love this. But then after 3 or 4 months, you think, gosh, no, I couldn't see myself doing this. So research would show that if you go the FET route, the further education and training route, you're more likely to succeed if you go to third level. And I think you're more likely to succeed in the world of work as well. So what we say to people is just take a breath, test your career pathway, explore your study options, and get ready for whatever that is. Bridging to third level or getting into the world of work. We have 27 courses for progression at Kerry College. And again, there, I'm just dying to share your website, of course, as many times as possible. At kerrycollege.ie, you go into the homepage, full-time courses, and the category there is courses for progression, and you'll see them all listed down there for you. A little word on funding and financial supports. There are really three main sources of funding. Aside from the fact you're not paying fees, you're paying very low registration fees on certain courses with us. You've got your SUSI grant, which opens next month. You have a really good eligibility reckoner there on the website susi.ie, and that's for SUSI approved courses only, of which we have many of them. If you're on a qualifying social welfare payment at the time that you start one of the courses for employment, you'll get a training allowance, and that's a conversation for you and the folks at social welfare. But if they can, you know, confirm to us that you're on a qualifying welfare payment, we'll pay you a training allowance. And similarly with the Back to Education, if you're on a BTEA approved course, you typically need to be over 21, but in some cases you can be younger. You can have that conversation with social welfare and they can put you on the Back to Education allowance as well. What we'd say to people that aren't on a payment, and a lot of our people are not, when they come in, they say, well, I'm not going to qualify for any payment. Can I still do the course? Absolutely. Of course you can do the course, but you just won't get a weekly allowance. But what we would say is that you're not paying fees anyway. And in some cases with a course for employment, you'll have travel and accommodation supports. So really you're getting an excellent education and training experience for very low investment. And as a result, very low risk. And that means then you can make a choice with a bit more certainty and say, well, you know, I can try this, see how it works. And it's not as risky. So as we all know, risk is a big element of making choice. And then finally, apprenticeship. So, I mean, the question we get asked a lot about apprenticeship is it a course? We'll get calls and people will say to us, can I book on your next apprenticeship? Or how does it work? So there seems to be a bit of a lack of knowledge out there, and it's not the fault of the general public. It's a guess that there's been a whole generation where apprenticeship wasn't really a big thing. So of course, you know, we know that apprenticeship is a contract of employment with Solus and a Solus approved employer. So they hire you And they then will put you through phases of on-the-job training and off-the-job training. And you'll get your qualification, which could be a QQI 6 to 9 after 2, 3, or 4 years. And it's an absolutely phenomenal way of getting into a particular sector. And it's a huge growth area in Ireland at the minute. There's over 50 apprenticeships to choose from nationwide. You'll be employed, so you'll have a job, you'll earn while you learn, you'll get an apprentice wage in most cases, and you'll be trained by industry professionals, and you have excellent career path progression. So it is a phenomenal route. Where can you find out more? You can go to the apprenticeship.ie website. We have all of our locally available apprenticeships on kerrycollege.ie. But if you're looking at particular people that are hiring, companies that are hiring, apprenticeshipjobs.ie is really, really good. That is a live listing of jobs right now that you can go on and see in your area if anybody is hiring. What I would say to you as well is that if you're in the sort of Munster region, keep an eye on the Kerry College Facebook page, particularly the Mona Valley campus page. We post apprenticeship positions there all the time, and they are literally no longer online, then they're gone. So we'll get a call saying, can you post this? We post it, and literally 3 or 4 hours later, it's gone. So there's huge demand out there at the minute. There's also a €3,000 apprenticeship payment for employers who take on apprentices between now and the end of June. We think that may be extended, but for now, it's until the end of June. So there's a €3,000 incentive for employers to take on apprentices as well, which is really, really great. So what are these 10 unique course choices at Kerry College? The first one we'll deal with is an all new one. They're exclusive to Kerry College. They're all about in-demand skill sets. It's all about becoming job ready. And 9 of the 10 are recruited by interview. So it's an alternative route. It's not your typical CAO route where you're looking at points. We're going to be interviewing you for these positions. So you should fit the profile, or at least be very interested in the career area. So I'll give about a minute or so on each of these. The first one is the Scuba Diving Instructor. It's a brand new course for 2021. We've teamed up with Paddy to offer what is going to be the only fully funded scuba diving instructor program in the country. So certification for a lot of these programs, as you can imagine, will cost you quite a bit of money. We are covering the cost for the intake in 2021. You're not going to pay any fees because it's a course for employment. It's 30 weeks long. You get 4 PADI certifications as part of it: the instructor development, open water diver, rescue diver, and dive master. And really, you need to be 18 to apply. You need to have, ideally a leaving cert, but a QQI level 4 major is good as well. You'll do an interview. You'll do a swim test. You'll need to get PADI recognized clearance from your GP. And there's also a color vision test as well. So that's the recruitment process. That's live online at the minute, and you can book it right now. And we'll start the recruitment process typically about 8 weeks before we start, and that's due to start in the 3rd week of August. Second one we mentioned already, the wind turbine maintenance technician. This is a different type of course. This is a conversion course. So for this, you need to have a recognized electrical, automotive, or mechanical qualification. It's 38 weeks long. You train with our team at Mona Valley in the wind turbine campus there. We have our own life-sized wind turbine unit and nacelle, but we also have a deconstructed unit inside in our training area, and you can climb in and practice all of the maintenance and repair tasks that you need in terms of diagnostics and that. So it's absolutely fantastic. Only place you can do it in the country. 10 weeks of work placement, and you can travel with this. There's work available in Ireland, but also the UK and across Europe. As I was telling Kevin earlier, it is a growth industry. We're about to see the start of the green wave. Fiber installation technician is one of 2 we run with TLI Group, who are a big telecommunications infrastructure company based in Kerry, but they've expanded into the UK recently, and they're one of the lead providers of the National Broadband Scheme, and this ties directly into that. So this is all about you learning the skills of fiber optic cabling and splicing and copper cabling for the communications cabling industry. So 24 weeks, pretty accelerated course, 6 weeks of work-based training. And again, you need to be sort of 16 years of age. Junior certificate standard of education is fine, but you'll have to go through our recruitment process. So that's, again, interview, it's a climbing test, it's a color vision test, and it's a medical. So again, there you need to look at the entry requirements on our website when you're looking at that. This is not just an apply and you'll get the place. You've got to do the work, and you have to fit the profile of the learner as well that we're looking for. Civils for fiber installation is a related course. This is all about doing groundwork. for the fiber optic and copper networks installation industries. It's a brand new course. We've just had our first intake. And there's a very high level of employment after it because people need this. Companies who are involved as well in the National Broadband Scheme, they need people who are ready to hit the ground running with these skills. It's 15 weeks long. And you get an awful lot of specialized certifications as part of the course that you would need to normally do if you joined a company like this. So when you come out of a course like ours, you are really ready to start. You're ready to hit the ground running. And there's a lot of job opportunities at the minute because we're entering into a new phase of the National Broadband Scheme delivery. This is another brand new course that we started last November. Ecology and practical fieldwork skills, with huge demand for it. I think one of the really big things about this course is that it's run in the Killarney National Park. So you have 25,000 acres there of a campus, which is really a kind of a dreamland for anybody who's into ecology or botany or wildlife management or forestry or conservation or any related field. 38 weeks, fantastic delivery team there, QQI major level 4 leaving certificate, age 16 or over, but you've got to have a big interest in ecology, sustainability and biodiversity. I sat on the last round of interviews and you kind of need to know your stuff. You need to be really interested in it. It's not about a qualification, but you need to be really passionate about the outdoors. And people love some of the modules that we deliver, like permaculture design, sustainable water management, biological diversity, and so on. So this is another really great growth area for us. Marine engineering is a course that's aimed primarily at the commercial side of the marine industry around the maintenance of commercial fishing boats. This will run in Phoenix. It's 32 weeks, I beg your pardon. It's 32 weeks long. Again, you've got to be 16 years old. You got to have your leaving certificate done or a major award, QQI level 4, and you've got to be interested as well in building boatyards and marine engineering. And again, recruitment is by interview. You missed as well. You were supposed to make the point. You must be okay with working outdoors for long periods of time on this. You need to be okay with working in the elements. The people that want to stay inside when it's raining, it's probably not going to work on a course like this. So this is why we interview people and why we test them to make sure that they fit the course profile. Here's a course that fills every year. We just run one of them, but we fill it absolutely every year. It has nothing to do with the recruitment process of An Garda Síochána. It's important to say that. But what it is, it's a legal studies qualification that prepares people who are interested in applying for the Guards at some point in the future. 38 weeks long, it runs the academic year. Because it's a course for progression, there's the €130 registration fee and the €200 government levy, but that's all you pay. And you can see some of the modules that are really interesting around criminology and criminal law and conflict resolution and legal practice and procedures. We have a lot of guest speakers as well from sort of the legal side of things and also from the justice side of things and from An Garda Síochána as well. So you get a really good primer about applying for this world that you can go into when you apply for the Guards or the legal world without the risk. So we find it really popular and people find it very, very useful. This is the second all new course we're launching here today as well. This is our media graduate internship. We're starting this at the end of May. It's going to run for just 12 weeks. We're selecting 9 people to come in and work with a mentored instructor team as part of a media production crew. This is aimed squarely at media graduates who have finished their media course, their diploma or their degree, and they can't get work. So they don't have enough production credits. They don't have the experience. They don't have the stuff on IMDb. They just haven't made enough stuff. They understand the theory. This is a 12-week total immersion in media production program in a fantastic center. We have a brilliant digital skills center in Kerry, but also then you've got the outdoors. So imagine a summer in Kerry, building your production credits. So we're launching that this week. We're announcing it today. There's no fees. All the learning materials and equipment is provided. And our goal is to get you bridged into employment, because we've identified that as a key area. People come to us the whole time saying, I've done my degree, I've done my master's, I can't get work. And what they're missing is the skills piece. So that's starting at the end of May, and we'll have a briefing and interviews in early May. So I'd apply for that quickly if it's something that's of interest to you. Second last two are digital skills production accredited programs, have 3 streams. They're totally unique. They were rebuilt from the ground up 3 years ago. There's TV film, there's content creation for digital, and there's journalism, audio and radio. hugely oversubscribed, and they start typically in the third quarter of each year, and they run for 12 months. So it's a 52-week program. And we design them in a way where the various disciplines can collaborate on shared projects and interact. So we've got like a little mini creative campus within the Mona Valley campus. It's actually right beside the wind turbine unit. So you've got the wind turbine unit just outside the door, but inside then we've got a really cool creative media production campus where they do loads of cool stuff. So that's something again that people should look at if they're looking at kicking on their career. And we're recruiting for those right now. And the final one then is Overhead Lines. This is the Overhead Lines Operative. It's our second course we run with TLI Group, who are industry leaders in this area. And this is really where you end up doing work on a contract basis for ESB networks. 36 weeks long, no fees, and very, very strong job prospects after it. Now, just to finish up, I suppose they're the 10 courses. I would just say drop by our stand, meet our team today. We have Celine, we have Megan, we have Niamh, and we have Ella on the stand today, and they'll be happy to ask any of your questions. Oh, there they are. They told me not to put a picture of themselves in the presentation, but I couldn't resist. And whatever you choose, we wish you all the very best. If you think there's something we can help you with, do certainly give us a call at our booth. That's it, Kevin.
Okay, John, thank you very much. That was very interesting and all about studying at Kerry College of Further Education. And John, can I ask you, just in relation to people making choices, and I would obviously be aware that you've been involved in the media sector, as and as a presenter and a broadcaster, and you probably would have started off with a certain vision of where you'd like your career to be, and you have evolved that vision into working for Kerry College. So can you maybe speak to us maybe for a couple of minutes about the path you took to make that decision? And I suppose what I'm particularly interested is in trying to give people the idea that you don't have to pigeonhole yourself into one particular career, and that you can always kind of think of something which you might do and to evolve it and develop it further. So if you can tell us a little bit more about that, I think it'd be useful.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. I suppose I'd say two things on that. The first thing I would say is that when I was leaving school, you didn't have a fraction of the choice that you have now and a fraction of the support. Kerry College didn't exist. A lot of these wonderful programs at further education and training and third level didn't exist. So you felt that you had to be corralled into one or two or three different roads, and it all felt very overwhelming. So that's the first thing I would say. Second thing is that I suppose really you have to kind of go with your gut on things. I started presenting radio shows. Now you'll laugh, Kevin, at this. I started presenting radio shows in my bedroom when I was 8 years old. And I used to copy Larry Gogan, who was the late great Larry Gogan, who used to present the Top 30 chart show. And I used to tape songs off the radio, and I used to play them back. I used to assemble them and all that. And my mother and father thought I was something wrong with me. They just said, this guy's very strange. We have a farm. Is he not interested in farming? And so I said very early on, I'm not interested in farming that much. I'll help you out, but I'm not interested. I want to do radio and media. And then I was told at the age of 15, and this may resonate with people, I was told by a distant relation of mine that radio was a child's dream and I should just give it up. You're never going to become a radio presenter. It's not going to work. You live in Kerry. There is no radio station here. What are you thinking about? So what I did is I did the wrong thing, Kevin. I listened to them and I did nothing. And I went off and I studied hospitality and hotel management for 4 years. And then I did a master's in tourism and economics, thinking I wanted to work in the hospitality business. And for the very first time, I was dealing with a radio station to write an advert because I had so much experience from doing radio in my bedroom. I wrote this really cool ad and I said, you know what, I'll go down and I'll voice it for you. So I went down to the radio station, I voiced the ad. They said, you sound okay. Would you like to do more? And slowly I started working in radio. And my parents, who were absolutely horrified, having put me through college for 5 years, were thinking, what's wrong with this guy? He was in his bedroom doing radio shows when he was younger. We put him through 5 years of college, and now he's doing a very lowly paid job on radio. But that's what I wanted to do. So I suppose what I'd say to people is, and I did evolve that. Then I became a presenter. We set up a company called Radio Kerry Training. We trained young broadcasters for 13 years, had great fun doing it. And now I'm with Kerry College. What I would say to you is that you've got to listen to your gut. If it doesn't feel right this year to go to college, well, then don't go. Don't go for reasons of following your friends or pressure from people. You've got to listen to what you want to do yourself. And I suppose one of the things, Kevin, that I would always listen to, and it's an old meme that I saw written on the internet one time or on Facebook or something, was that, go back to the things you really enjoyed when you were a kid. what did you do when you were a kid? What did you really enjoy? That's the clue to what you should be doing as an adult. Now, I know we can't all be, professional soccer players. I played a lot of soccer too, and I thought I'd be a soccer player, but I'm just not good enough. But certainly radio and media and creating and talking was always part of what I wanted to do. And I just didn't follow that, and I should have. And I think now people, linking it to the choice thing, Kevin, school leavers today have an incredible range of options to try and explore safely, without risk, things they think they'd like to do.
John, you are an inspiration to have told us that. And and I would say that for many, many students watching the webinars today, it's really something that they have to decide to do. If you want to pick a course, you want to make a decision for yourself, I suppose the reality is that the description you've given of the path you took is what it really says is that what you decide today doesn't have to be what you're boxed into for your whole life, and that there are many, many things you can do from the decision. So what you're deciding this year is what you might want to do for the next few years, but you always have options. And in particular, how, the range of courses and education options has changed over the years, over the last 10, 20, 30 years. I think students who are sitting there leaving cert this year have so many options to choose from, but it's always about trying to remember, what is it you want to do, and what is it you would like to see yourself doing for the next few years, but not necessarily for the rest of your